The Chicago Bulls have lost four in a row and just look completely different team than the one who started the league. We have a problem, and what are we going to do to solve it? We're going to talk about this slumping Bulls right after this.
Get the lowdown on one of the most iconic basketball teams in the world. You're listening to Chicago Bulls Nation.
What is going on, Bulls Nation? So I've been conned, and I shouldn't have been, but as a blind Bulls fan, you can't help but get excited sometimes when your team starts like 5-0 and you're all hyped. And I knew it wasn't gonna last, but I didn't know it was gonna be this bad because this looks a completely different team. I thought they turned the corner when that started. Like they believe in themselves. Like the defense have picked up and all that stuff. But boy, it ended up way too fast, way too fast for the Chicago Bulls as they are currently in a 4-game losing streak. I didn't even wait for the Orlando Magic, highlights to make this video. I don't want to do that. It was a horrible just few games for the Bulls. It started really with this game against the Portland Trail Blazers where they barely won, and this is not a good team. The Trail Blazers are. They barely won. They got blown out by the Heat. The Heat absolutely just run through them. Barely won against the Wizard with that buzzer beater. Got allowed 143 points against the Pelicans. The Pelicans, who has like 3 wins. And then the Hornets beat them as well. And now the Pacers, again, those are the bottom feeders. This should have been the easy part of the schedule, but this is nothing but easy for the Bulls. Remember, it feels like the first few games were like years ago. It really wasn't. I remember saying there that, hey, the Bulls are not going to win every game, but at least we are now looking at the Bulls can beat the teams that they're supposed to beat. Well, that's not the case. On Wednesday, they're going to play the Brooklyn Nets, which they could potentially lose. Now, I understand that this game, there's a lot of players that are out for the Bulls, but isn't this what AK was talking about? This team was built on depth. On depth. There's no star players. We have a deep roster. Well, that doesn't seem to be the case. The bench mob that we've been raving about, or that I've been raving about for the beginning of the season, is gone. Ayo's still playing pretty good. The magic of Giddey affecting the winning is gone as well. The stats is still there. I'm not putting it completely on him, but today he's getting pushed by. We got punked today by the Orlando Magic. Wendell Carter is just pushing people around. Matas Buzelis just doesn't look the same player like he was. He's playing on the outside way too often. He's dribbling the ball on his foot. The offensive strategy that Billy Donovan has implemented has taken away. This 5-out offense was fun up until the NBA caught on. But unlike the Miami Heat, who continues with his pace, the Bulls couldn't sustain it. They couldn't sustain it. And I gave praise to Billy Donovan at the beginning of the season because he implemented a system and it was working. But now it's not working anymore, and he hasn't changed his style. He hasn't. We always thought that this was not sustainable, this type of pace. Mike D'Antoni back in the day, at least they won a lot of regular season games. It just didn't work in the playoffs. We can't even win a lot of regular season games with this kind of pace. Now with this kind of defense, the non-existent defense of the Chicago Bulls, something needs to change with this team. If Indiana, the Bucks, and Boston are at full health, we'll be in a 13th seed right now, easily. If they're full strength. We all know that the roster is not that good, but we thought it was good enough at least to put on a fight. The easy part of the schedule, we're blowing it out. This is terrible for the Bulls. There's no gimme on this team with or without Kobe White. Kobe White came back he's not going to matter. He's not that difference maker. So do not pay the guy. You need to have guys. If you are confident about this team, you're confident about the coach that you re-signed him again. Get players that you know are winning type of players. And who was that? Ayo Dosunmu, right? Like he's the type of guys that would command, like if a championship team would want to have. Josh Giddey, like that young guy. He might not be the superstar that you're looking for, but he's a nice piece. Matas Buzelis, if you want to chalk in Isaac Okoro, sure, he's the defensive guy. But then again, he got traded by a championship contender team. So he got one more year in his contract. But something needs to change for this Bulls team. Whatever that is, players, personnel, coaches, front office, you can't continue banging your head over and over. Back then we said, hey, the DeMar DeRozan is hampering this team because he doesn't play fast. Now we play fast and we're still losing. I'm not saying DeMar is the answer, but he's not purely the problem. If we can't get good players because this front office just refuses to tank or trade or sign free agents, or maybe they're just not capable to doing so, at least get a new coach. You can change coach every year. Look at Phoenix Suns. You can't good players. You cannot get good players. Get a culture. Get something going here. There's some coaches out there who are available that you might want to, just try. Just try. Maybe it'll work. I don't know. But you keep on. Billy Donovan has been here for 5 years now with one playoff appearance. Maybe it's time to try something new. Maybe you're just not capable of signing good players. Maybe you're just not capable of drafting good players. Don't ruin Matas Buzelis. He's the one silver lining in this team. Don't ruin him. But we'll see. But this team, currently, they're back. They're back to being mediocre. They're back on being a terrible team. Not terrible enough to land a significant player in the draft, though. That's the bad part about this. That's why I'm all in for a massive trade. Because if that trade doesn't work out, guess what? As long as you don't trade all your assets, meaning your draft picks, if you can trade 2, put some conditions on it. If you don't do that, there's no way you're going to be mediocre. Because you're either going to be super bad or you're going to be super good. So we'll see. But thank you for watching. If you're a Bulls fan, consider subscribing to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.